Hey YouTube, it's your girl, Jimmy Pink, and I am coming today with a special RuPaul's Drag Race review, if you will. If you want to call it RuPaul's Drag Race review or kiki or discussion or however we want to call it. I'm going to call it We Need to Kiki About Fifi. Okay? So, if you're watching this video, excuse me, God. See, this is why a bitch wear wigs and ponytails, real hair all in my mouth. Anyway, if you follow RuPaul's Drag Race, which I have no idea why you would be watching this video if you don't, it's been a little controversy with Fifi O'Hara and RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, my last review that I did, which was obviously the most recent episode where Fifi was eliminated. And I said some things about, no, bitch, that was really you. And then an article came out with Vulture where she was saying why she was angry, some of the things that the judges, some of the things that the producers were doing, and some of the things that RuPaul were doing. Now, a couple different things. First of all, I believe it to a point. Okay? If you followed this show from day one, like I have, since its premiere, you know that the judges do some shady fucking editing. They do. Not unlike any other reality show you watch. There is no such thing as an actual reality show with the exception of football and basketball. And sometimes I feel like that's a little bit tweaked a little bit. But I say that to say this. I want to take a look at a couple of different things before we all say, for as much love as we have as fans of this show, let's look at a couple of things. So first of all, in the article, Fifi mentioned the smartest thing Adore could have did was leave. She was the smartest one because she left. Now, we know that Adore, we know the circumstances that she left. We know the circumstances, when she said she left, because in her little video, she said it was more what Raven said that made her leave. Which I found that to be odd, because why, if that was really the case, would they throw Michelle, RuPaul's best friend, somebody that's been part of the show for how long now, the person that goes out on tour with these girls and everything, y'all would throw her on the bus under the show? Like, and that's a whole other subject where she was like, I'm apologizing you. I don't even apologize to my kids. Well, there's something wrong with you if you don't apologize to people. Sometimes you're wrong. But I digress. What else was really going on that made Adore leave? Maybe it was some stuff like that where she was like, oh, I'm already successful enough. I ain't got to put up with this, y'all faking the funk on me like this. No, I'm not down for it. Okay, also, if you think of the girls that are more vocal against RuPaul's Drag Race, it kind of looked like them being bitter because they are usually the ones that are portrayed in a more negative light. But if you think about other people that have spoken out against the show, Tammy Brown has said, I was popping off at a producer, but they made it look like I was popping off at RuPaul or popping off at another queen, and I was popping off at the producer. Same thing that Fifi said. You have Adore Delano, which really, she doing good, but let's keep it 100. She be on them tours with RuPaul's Drag Race. She be on them tours with Michelle Visage. So, to save her own career, is she really going to come out and be like, they did me dirty? I don't like how they did me, so I'm out? No, you came out with some whole other shit. It was more Raven-Symoné than anybody. A guest judge could do that to you, and you done already been through this process. You done been around these people. But somebody you don't even know is who said some shit to you, and she was like, that's too foul, and I needed to walk away. I understand the circumstance of her losing her father and her boyfriend and all that stuff. But you was there with people that you considered friends and family, and when they was doing the editing, and they were saying, I felt like it was personal, yada, 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 you was saying that to Michelle. they just conveniently edited out Raven's name out of that. I'm not buying that either, because why not throw her under the bus? Nobody fucking likes Raven-Symoné. She ain't never got to come back as a judge. The general public don't even like this chick. So you don't even need her. Okay. Let's talk about Jasmine Masters, who to me never seemed bitter. Just seemed like a black lady in her late 30s, kind of like myself. I'm sure sometimes I come off as bitter. It's not bitter. It's we really don't give no fucks. So we say what we say. We mean what we say. We say it how we gonna say it, and we really don't give a shit. I took it more that she was like that than she was being bitter or a bitch. But, you know, they drug her for filth. Just a lot of things. Do I believe that there are things they say, okay, now talk about this, because I've been watching like the drag con panels, and I know they manipulate stuff. It's a reality show. We know they manipulate stuff. Now, with that being said, if you didn't say the shit, they couldn't manipulate you. So to a point, you really was acting that foul, regardless of what the reason was. And if you want to be considered a professional, that's just some shit you can't do. Now, if you knew, like, and I guess we'll say Jeremy now, because I guess drag is done, which I feel like is a shame, because I feel like you're a very talented queen. But, or for that matter, you might be smarter than we think, because now you look like the victim. I'm not going to do drag no more, but you conveniently dropping the album as a man. Maybe you want to be more known for that. So at this point, like, it's up in arms. That's why I said we need to kiki about Fifi. What is it for real? Let's dig down. Let's get to it. The whole thing with the little Jessica Rabbit thing, and then RuPaul don't follow you no more. And she said the thing about when it was Raven-Symoné, they made a Jaden Dior fierce joke, and Ru didn't even know who that was. Maybe not initially. You know, I would be telling y'all a bold-faced lie. And I look at my YouTube and check it every day, and I'd be a bold-faced lie to say I know what all 1,000 of my subscribers' names is. I don't. Probably don't even know 100 of y'all names, not without looking at it. Because when you're dealing with something all the time and you're dealing with it in volume, RuPaul is a busy person. That's a businessman. They're not going to remember every single queen off rip. And let's keep it 100. Unless you a super fan of the show. And I love Jaden Dior fierce. But if that wasn't a queen that you like, her bid on the show was pretty forgettable. And as many great and 100% great and 100% awful Snatch Game performances was, she was easy to get lost in the shuffle on that. Let's just keep it 100. Also, I do feel like it's a competition, and RuPaul is probably not all around the contestants and don't talk to the contestants. Now, Fifi is saying she don't do shit. She don't talk to nobody. I don't believe that, because that's a business. I would be in shock and awe if RuPaul wasn't the owner of Worlds of Wonder. And if not the owner, got a big stake in it, I would be in shock and awe. So you really think she don't know everybody? Yeah, she knows. She might. She know the ones that's gonna make her money. You know, we even talked about Latrice Royale watching Hey Queen. Like, yes, I follow these drag queens like that. Watching Hey Queen, and she was saying, like, how come on all the tours that they're under this certain management to work with Worlds of Wonder so tough, but it's not hardly no queens of color. It's mostly the white queens that are on there. So Latrice Royale started a management company, and she manages most of the black queens, because they don't go on the Battle of the Seasons tours. Now, as popular as Latrice Royale is, Latrice Royale is one of the most popular queens, and most definitely the most popular one of color that's been on that show, for sure. Y'all ain't got her on Battle of the Seasons or none of that? She ain't got her own show of Worlds of Wonder? That's weird. So you just have to watch, Pay attention to the ones that ain't synced up with World of Wonder and really pay attention and read between the lines of what they saying in interviews and shit. Because Fifi O'Hara is not necessarily making this shit up. She might be shooting herself in the foot in her career by speaking out on it. But if you listen to any of them heifers that had a bad experience on RuPaul's Drag Race, they might not be reading for filth, but read between them lines. It's some shady shit going on RuPaul's Drag Race, which it is on every reality show, so I'm not hating. Make your money, boo-boo. And these girls know, especially when you going on All-Stars, you already know what it is. Did you really think, oh, we're going to let you, once you walked in the door, Fifi, All-Stars, once you walked in the door and seen who was there, Door, fan favorite, Alyssa, fan favorite, worked for Worlds of Wonder, Alaska, fan favorite, works for World of Wonder, Katya, fan favorite, works for World of Wonder. Like, once you looked around the room and said, it ain't even nobody else in here that was as hated as I am. Not even Roxy Andrews. See, Roxy Andrews is doing what she's supposed to do. Roxy Andrews was like, I could say some slick shit, but you got me fucked up. You're not about to do this to me. You're not about to do this to me. And when they were saying, like, when you see the editing, and when she's saying that stuff about Alyssa, which I agree with, because they do let Alyssa slide with some bullshit on. I love Alyssa to death. I love her character. I love what she do. But she be having on some fucked up shit. She do. And they do give her passes just because, but that's Alyssa. They do. They really, really, really do. And when she was saying that, you did see Detox nodding her head like, well, yeah. You did see Roxy nodding her head, were like, yeah. Where they probably edited it out, or maybe they was all saying it. Or any of that. But if you saying you knew it was a setup, why you even pop off like that? What's the worst they could have did? You said you knew you was going home after that anyway. What's the worst they could have did? You should have been like, well, yeah, I voted for Alyssa too. And shut your fucking mouth. What else could they have did? Well, say why. I feel like she did the worst this week. You can't come out here and now play the victim and say they played me when you gave them the tools to play you. You can't say, well, they edited it this way to make it seem like I was saying this if you never said it. If you knew they was going to do that, you should have shut your mouth. So, and then we do see how you are. Like, people don't change their personalities. Ginger Man still was a little snippy. The only one whose personality to me, unless that was editing too, was Roxy. Because Roxy already knew. Roxy was like, see, y'all gonna get up in this gig. I said, because I bet you Roxy looked in there the same way that Fifi should have came in there and looked it around and seen all them people. She should have been like, I don't work with these people. I don't be on Worlds of Wonder. I don't be on these Battle of the Seasons. I don't be on these tours. They don't be having me as a guest judge on Worlds of Wonder for tooting and booting or none of this shit. I don't be on none of this. And I'm looking around the room and there's a bunch of motherfuckers that's on the Battle of the Seasons tour. There's a bunch of these folks that's up here that work for World of Wonder. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I guarantee you that's what Roxy did, because that's what a smart person would have did. Fifi, when you came in, then you came in dressed like, I'm a villain, so I'm going to come in dressed like the Riddler. No! You gave them all the tools. And because you gave them all the tools, your story sounds falsified. The little shit that jumped off, where you were saying that wasn't even towards Alyssa, that was towards Detox, and they came out and released the whole thing and it didn't look right. You got to pick your battles. You killed your career. You know that, right? Because I don't know how well, I didn't check out your video as a dude, because quite honestly, I'm just not interested in drag queens, not in drag. You got to be like somebody really, really talented. Like, I would like to see Hurricane Bianca, and I know he's half himself and half drag queen in that. But even from your little acapella performance on the show, boo, I'm not interested in hearing your music as you as a dude. I'm not. So, if I'm thinking like that, as much of a RuPaul's Drag Race fan as I am, I'm sure I'm not the only person to feel like that. And you got painted in a bad light. But you can't be mad at getting painted in a bad light when you handed them every color of the rainbow. Like, ooh, you painted me in a bad light, but here go the crayons. Here go the colored chalk, the colored pencils, the oil paints. Like, you gave it to them. You gave them what they wanted. And, you know, they said it was a couple queens came out and said, no, it didn't go down like that. And they had your back. But I'm sorry. I feel like both parties is at fault. And if you was going to play this game and do this RuPaul's Drag Race as some kind of redemption, when you looked around the room and seen what it was, you should have caught on to that immediately. And you now saying this episode was you popping off like that. And really it was more so about the producers. And really you was mad at what they was doing to you. But you let that ride. What did you think they was gonna do? So you ain't got you don't got a pot to piss into me. You ain't got a leg to stand on to me. Because if you're now sitting here trying to say this is what happened, and I was really mad at the producers, and I didn't want to hug Alyssa because I was gonna burst out into tears and all this stuff because you knew how they were doing you, you let it get to you. And you gave them the tools to paint you in the worst possible light that they could have. So at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. I would like for y'all to let me know how y'all feel about the Fifi situation. Is there some more information that I need that I don't have? I called this video, Let's Kiki About Fifi, because I really want y'all input. I really want to talk about it. Because for me, it also leaves a bad taste in my mouth for the RuPaul franchise. And as much as I love this show, if I know everything is rigged to the point like that, it is now taking a lot of the enjoyment out of the show for me. So, let me know. Comment. Let me know if you liked the little screenshot where I did the little Sailor Moon characters and Fifi's outfits. Tell me how accurate I was in that. And, as always, I'll see y'all when episode 6 drop, or before that if a rap beef or something else. I think I'm going to do, start doing Scream Queens, and Once Upon a Time I didn't do Atlanta this week because most of y'all don't watch it. So, deuces.